This is One on One. Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. This is One on One. Let's introduce for the, 12 times been on with us, but an important story to tell. Barry Ostrowsky, President and Chief Executive Officer of Barnabas Health. Good to see you, Barry.
Great to be here. Thanks, Steve.
So many things to talk about. One of the first ones I want to talk about is the Special Olympics initiative. Special Olympics 2014, USA Games, Barnabas Health as a founding partner. What is it, and why is it so important as we show some pictures?
Well, it's incredibly exciting for us. As you know, the nation comes to New Jersey to have the Special Olympics starting June 14th of this year. And we believe, as a community organization that's dedicated to all the constituencies that we treat, those with intellectual disabilities are those that are frequently overlooked in terms of health care and social support. So the opportunity to be a founding partner of these national games,
looking at these kids right now,
is very special for us. And I don't think, in my experience, we've ever announced an initiative that has so galvanized our employees with such excitement.
How so?
All of them want to be volunteers. Each and every one of them has or knows a story that affects them in some very special way about an intellectually disabled person or a Special Olympic athlete. And so we are celebrating our commitment literally every month. Opening day is June 14th. So on the 14th of every month leading up to June 14th, we're having a Special Olympics Day at each of our facilities. We kicked it off in January.
That's right.
We raised the Olympic flag at each of our facilities, and there was incredible embrace by our employees, our volunteers who volunteer at hospitals want to be volunteers for the games. But I think it's all an extension of our mission.
At Barnabas Health.
At Barnabas Health. You know, I admire so the major corporations of this country when they dedicate them time and resources to special organizations. In our case, it's what we do for a living. And to be able to shift some of those energies to an organization like Special Olympics and these national games, we just see that as an extension of who we are.
And by the way, folks, One on One is in fact a media sponsor of these games. If you go on the website that we'll be putting up in just a moment, you'll see us there. And the reason is we are featuring the games. We have public service announcements that you'll see up there. We're featuring TJ Nelligan, who is the driver behind a lot of this. He was just on our sister program, Life and Living, with Joanna Gagos, our anchor there. He was just featured there. We are going to be doing everything we can to promote those games. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a big deal.
And we thank you for that, Steve. I mean, that's very important. I think the whole idea behind the Special Olympics, as it was originally conceived by the Shrivers, was to bring notice to those with intellectual disabilities.
Sergeant Shriver, Eunice Shriver, the Kennedys.
Eunice Shriver's sister, who of course was intellectually disabled. And now Tim Shriver is the international chairman.
Right.
But it's all about having us focus on a demographic of special people who really need support, and the families so welcome the support that so many of us give to special athletes. It's a feel-good story, but it's an incredible organization and a wonderful initiative.
Before we leave that, Jackie, could you put up the shot of the raising of the flag, which is really great? I think Barry was in that shot. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's listen, by the way, that's Sean over on the right.
That's right.
Sean Nelligan, who is TJ's son. Listen, it's a great day. Find out more information. Log on the website because they always need volunteers. Shift gears.
Yes, sir.
Want to talk health care?
No, not unless I have to.
But before we do that, let's talk diversity.
Okay.
Because we talk Special Olympics, that's a part of
Absolutely.
the diversity initiative. At Barnabas Health, I know diversity is a huge initiative. What does it actually mean to have a diversity initiative, and break it down so that people watching can say, oh, that matters to me?
I think it should matter to all of us. Obviously, if you get back again to our mission of treating everyone, we have to make sure that not only are we effective for each of the demographics and constituencies that we treat, but we have to encourage within our own organization that those of various cultures, races, religions have the opportunity to map out a career path that's both great for them and their families. And you have to take special steps to ensure that you have all the support mechanisms that are tailored and designed for those constituencies. Big organizations tend to move by momentum, and you have to stop that momentum and say, are we directing a sufficient amount of our energies and resources to ensuring equal opportunity among all of our employees? So inside the organization, we're very much geared to both minority support and diversity support. Last year we kicked off our Women's Leadership Council.
Sure.
Now 78% of our employees are women, and yet they're underrepresented in the management and executive ranks of our organization.
What do you do about that, Barry?
Well, I think what you do is you gather up those who have the interest in becoming executives or managers, and you map out opportunities for education and support. And networking is a very big thing. You know, many of these folks, whether they're women or other minorities, tend to suffer a little bit individually or are frustrated about lack of progress. So here, if you put everybody together and you get the right type of support and people who understand business and business advancement, you will see, and I saw at the initial kickoff, such enthusiasm among the women in this leadership council to try to teach one another and support one another as they go through the ranks. From an external standpoint, because we're in every demographic in the state of New Jersey.
By the way, let folks know how big Barnabas Health is and where you are.
Well, we are the biggest in New Jersey. We have over 18,000 employees. We treat 2 million patients a year, and so we're in inner cities and in suburbs, more rural areas. We're in areas that are dominated by senior citizens. So we understand, at least by virtue of our treating, that we touch the lives of people from literally every race, creed, culture. We also need to be able to support the business communities that are representing those constituencies. So we have a minority business program where we try to encourage doing business among vendors who are in fact owned by minority ownership interests.
That takes a concerted effort.
It really does. It doesn't happen without that kind of concerted effort. And there are great leaders in this. We happen to be fortunate in Essex County. We have a county executive, Joe DiVincenzo, who has been iconic in this area. He's insisted on doing greater amounts of business with minority-owned companies, and we have just partnered with the county, thanks to Joe's leadership, to become part of that initiative. And so I look forward to continuing the growth for everyone. We are, in fact, mission-driven. And so as a mission-driven organization, it's important that we pay attention to those who seek to improve their own lives and sometimes, you know, hit obstacles that an organization like ours can help them overcome. And that's really what we're doing.
I'm going to give Barry 1 minute on this because you can often hear Barry with our sister program, NJ TV News, with our colleague Mike Schneider, who's actually coming on for a one-on-one interview. He's in the green room coming on after this. You can hear Barry with Mike talking about the ongoing efforts with Obamacare and the implementation of the ACA. Give me 1 minute. Your prediction, are things going to get better?
Yes.
Because?
Well, I think things are going to get better because consumers, when faced with having to understand that which they're buying, tend to educate themselves. Look, the rollout has not been smooth. Even the architecture and the mechanics are not particularly good. But if we now all understand that each of us has a greater responsibility to not only take care of ourselves, to avert illness, but to somehow purchase some kind of coverage when we do get sick, I think the collective attention that we're going to spend in evaluating these opportunities is going to make it better. I can't suggest to you that it'll happen next month or next year. To me, this is a generational issue. It's going to take a couple of generations, perhaps, until we get the healthcare delivery system in a form that we'll all be proud of.
Like I said, check out Barry and his ongoing conversations about this topic. That happens often on NJ TV News on a regular basis because they cover it, because the changes just keep happening all the time. Because it's a dynamic topic. Barry Ostrowsky, President and Chief Executive Officer of Barnabas Health. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it.
Pleasure being here.
The games, those games are going to be terrific. We look forward to being there.
It's going to be spectacular.
Good stuff.
Really
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey's credit unions, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Natural Gas, United Water, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.